Guys, welcome back to Astroways face reading. Last episode we talked about our philtrum. Only small but full of stories. I bet most people wouldn't even notice what their philtrum is like without looking into the mirror. It's not that kind of things that you would look at every day. But face reading is like this. It surprises you now and again. Sometimes what you think is beautiful doesn't necessarily bring you good luck. Like eyes, for example. People put a lot of makeups on their eyes to make them look bigger, but in face reading, it's a different story. Otherwise, you wouldn't see so many big eye celebrities struggle in their marriage relationship life. For wrinkles as well, everyone hates wrinkles, especially girls. Wrinkles are the ultimate hatred in the beauty industry. Although you may have a different opinion, now since you've been watching my face reading series. And today we're going to introduce you to the biggest wrinkle across our face. You must hate them so much. They make you look old, they make you look miserable, and you just can't wait to get botox. Well, here I have something to tell you. Hear what I'm going to say next and finish this episode. I might be able to change your mind. If after this episode you still hate them, then get a botox, okay? Okay, here we are. Nasolabial folds. Such a long name. When we talk about these folds, we mean when you're not smiling, because everyone has them if you smile. So it has to be when you're not smiling, and it represents age 56 and 57. 56 on the left side and 57 on the right side. In Chinese, we call them the decree lines. It represents decree, authority, give orders, laws, power, etc. If you work for a company as a regular employee, don't have much responsibilities, then it doesn't matter if you have the nasolabial folds or not. But if later on you got promoted to be the manager, you're in charge of a team, or start having some responsibilities, most of the time you find your lines start growing deeper. These lines means people start listening to you, believing you, following your orders, and later on you find them getting wider and wider. The team you're managing is getting bigger and bigger. So technically it depends on what your career or position is. Having nasolabial folds brings you power and responsibility at the same time. If you don't have them, it doesn't mean it's bad or anything. It only means you're in a situation where you don't have a lot of weight on your shoulder. If when you get to the age of 56 and 57 and you still don't have any sign of nasolabial folds, then we say maybe you're a bit too chill at that age. Maybe you're not looking after your family, or maybe you still haven't achieved much in your career, or maybe you do have responsibilities but they're not listening to you. So it's better to have them at that age, to be honest. Now we know nasolabial folds is classed as good wrinkles. Still, not all folds are the same shape. Which shape is better? First of all, the wider, the better. It's better to be wide open than narrow. Gargamel, for example. People who have narrow nasolabial folds tend to have a narrow heart as well. Stingy, unforgiving, and can be quite lonely. While people with wide folds means the lines are going out and wide open, can have two different ways. It can be wide open and bend into the chin like Obama. This type of lines means the person has good reputation. People listen to him, people look up to him, and he can take a lot of responsibilities. And if your lines are like wide open and going out instead of bending in, these people, they want a more quiet life, more freedom, work behind the scene. They wouldn't want to be tied down or being in front of the camera all the time. These three types are long lines. It's better to have long, wide lines than short and narrow ones. When you get to the age of mid-50, another example of very good nasolabial folds is Pablo Picasso. Beautiful long wide lines even when he wasn't smiling. Good lines means good reputation. Some people may have a lot of power or leading a big team, but doesn't have clear lines, like Pablo Escobar. He was very powerful as well. Then we need to look if he got a reputation, if people are willing to follow him. And remember back at our eye wrinkle episode when I said people who have lines across their cheekbones area needs to watch out for potential betrayal. So what happens if you have nasolabial folds but your lines are not that long? We say almost all nasolabial folds are good as long as it's wide open. Almost all shapes are good except one. We call it snakes into the mouth. This type of people tend to have a bit of mental problems, like easy to get upset, can be quite emotional sometimes. And what if you got both directions, one line going out and one line going in, like Warren Buffett? If you look closely, he got a small fork at the end of the lines with one going out and one going in. This type of lines are super good. It means you are very good at operations and running your business. Plus, if you notice, his lines are very long, and both of his lines form into a shape of a bell. The bell you see hanging on top of the church. Another very good example of this type of bell-shaped nasolabial folds is Queen Elizabeth. I think I've been talking about Queen Elizabeth every episode. But this one is the best lines. It means they're very fortunate, very lucky, got a good reputation. They can be quite chatty in private as well. I mean, who doesn't like a lovely chatty oldie? So what happens if you have one side of the lines shorter than the other side, or obviously very different than the other side? Then you need to watch out for your leg injuries, like falling or hitting something. You need to train your body balance. Do some workout, do some yoga. Okay, I think we've covered most types of nasolabial folds. Most of the time, having these lines is quite a positive thing, especially when you get to the certain age and you have certain responsibilities. However, having strong nasolabial folds also mean that you're a stubborn person. It's very hard for other people to convince you to do something, and it only gets worse when you get older. I bet most of you have experienced trying to convince your parents or grandparents to do some changes, like trying to get them to move houses, get rid of stuff that they don't use anymore. You find it very hard, but somehow you always surrender because they have deeper nasolabial folds than you and they give you orders, right? I have the same experience. I got a very funny grandma. My grandma is 85 years old. She's a very healthy old lady. She walks faster than me. Every time me and my family go on a mountain trip, halfway through it, I'm like, oh, how far I left. And I just see my grandma, who's already in front of me, getting further and further away from me, slowly disappearing. She's super healthy. The only problem she has is high blood pressure, and she really knows how to use it. So she's a hoarder, like the worst type. She hoards absolutely everything. Amazon boxes, newspapers from 10 years ago, empty shampoo bottles, expired foods, socks with holes on them, my socks when I was born, my teddy bear from when I was born, my dad's childhood cartoon books. Absolutely everything. And every time me and my parents trying to get rid of them, or even trying to touch them, my grandma would be like, oh, ooh, I think I'm having a heart attack. Oh, I'm having a high blood pressure. And we all like, oh, well, okay. We all like, back off. We're not gonna touch them. It's hilarious. And if you see those very artistic, fashionable, creative old people, usually, comparing to the people at the same age, they have their nasolabial folds. Their nasolabial folds will be lighter. So that's it. And I guess I've said enough of this nasolabial thoughts. Now, up to this point, if you still want to get rid of them, if you still want to get the botox on your face, I guess I can't really change your mind. I guess you do have quite deep thoughts, and I wish you good luck. So that's all for today. If you want to have your personal face reading with me, you can email me at astroways.info@gmail.com or find me on Facebook at Astroways. If you like my video, please give me a thumbs up. If you want to know more about metaphysics, please subscribe my channel and I'll keep you updated.